Hey, Miley McKay here, and we're back with another video. Today's video, in this video, we will talk about the 10, actually, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will talk about the 6 films I can't believe I own, mostly because they're some of the rarest films in my collection. Well, some of them are. Some of them aren't that rare anymore because they're Blu-ray releases, so we'll talk about it when we get to it. So let's start this off. We'll start with the first one on the stack over here. Hell Night, 1981. Now this one is rare. On DVD specifically, not in physical media in general. It's rare on DVD if you're just a DVD collector. I'm mostly a DVD collector, which is why I have this. I got this from my buddy Steve Grimes, who owns a video store called Star Trek's Video, which any of my viewers out there, if you want to check that out, you can find him on Facebook. Look up Steve Grimes, or you can look up Star Trek's Video on there. But this one, film from 1981, I loved this movie. I was surprised how much I liked it, actually. I can't believe I own this because this, as far as I can tell, on DVD, this specific print, this is incredibly out of print, this one, especially because it's an old Anchor Bay edition from like, let's get a date from the district, 2002. But as far as I'm concerned, this print of it is apparently incredibly rare because that's what Steve said when he sold to me. I just know it's not that easy to come by. I've never seen other copies since I got this one, so there's the disc. So I thought that was cool. Another one I got from Steve, actually, I think, okay, another one I got from Star Trek's, another Anchor Bay one. You see, there was a little later release of Anchor Bay, I think. 2007, yeah, it's a later release, but still a cool one. Umberto Bava's Demons from 1986 or 1985. I don't know, it should say on this somewhere. Yeah, 1985, okay. This is a cool film. This is an Italian film, which I didn't know until I watched it. It's dubbed over, so it doesn't bother me too much. But it's pretty gruesome for an 80s film. Probably one of those goriest 80s films I've ever watched. It's pretty cool, though. These people brought to a theater for a weird showing, and then they all turned into these demonic monsters. I thought it was absolutely awesome. But this one I got when I got Hell Night. At the same time, they were incredibly expensive when I got them. And I didn't know that. And I asked Steve why they're expensive. He said they're incredibly out of print. This one is probably pretty rare, so I've not seen another copy of this as well since I got this. The next one we're gonna talk about is not super rare, but in fact you can order it all day long on the internet if you want to. But there was a time when it was going for way too much money than I wanted to pay for it, but it's not so much now, just why I was able to acquire it. The Gate. You're wondering why it looks like this if you've never seen this release of it. That is because this is a 2002 DVD of it from a company called Platinum Disc Corporation, which I've never heard of this until I saw this. I saw this in a place, I went to a place called Money Tree a couple days ago. I picked this up because I had some credit. I still have credit there, so. But this movie isn't super rare anymore. I mean, it's kind of rare. I never see this in the stores I go to, so I give you a definition. But it was super cool because I've been wanting to copy this for a while, and I love the artwork on the front of it, just because it's the original poster artwork from the 80s on it. It's not super rare because you can order it all day long on the internet, but finding it like I do out in the wild is not an easy task, which is why I put in here. I can't believe I own it because I couldn't find a copy for the longest time. This next one I got from Star Trek, from Steve. The Burning, 1981. One of the many films that the great Tom Savini did the effects for. Case in point, there's his name. But this one, I never thought I'd own because I tried to order a copy of this off the internet years ago, and at the time that I did that, this was going for a lot more money than I ever wanted to pay for because this is out of print. But I guess it's not super rare to get a copy of it now. It is on DVD, but you can get it on Blu-ray pretty easily now because there's so many different Blu-ray releases of it. But DVD-wise, now this is kind of difficult. But when I got this from Steve, instead of charging me like an astronomical price like he did for the Demons and Hell Knights ones over here, he only charged me like $5 for it. So that was pretty cool. It's a pretty good movie too. One that probably one of the most expensive ones in this. This next one is probably the most expensive one in this whole lineup, which, thank God I didn't pay for it, but Alone in the Dark, 1982. It's also probably one of the rarer films I have, just because I never see this ever in a while. This was a good film. I watched it a while back after I got it. I loved it. It's about escaped mental patients that go on a rampage at night. It's a pretty good movie. It's from 1982, and funny, this one has an interesting story behind it, which the last one does too, and you'll see what that is in a minute. This one has a more interesting story. So, my friend Zena, who I mentioned in the last video I did, ordered me a VHS too on Blu-ray. She didn't order me this one. Instead, her boyfriend bought it for me. Because, okay, so I went to a place called Mega Replay here in Owensboro, Kentucky, where I live. That's where I found this. And when I went there, I wasn't having any good luck. I couldn't find anything cool that day. I found a few things I needed for my collection, but I wanted in my collection, but I didn't find anything retro that I wanted, really. And then I found this underneath the shelf. They wanted $20 for this. Of course, we didn't have it then, so, but like a week later, we went back and picked it up for me, and there it is. This one is super rare, so, but I love it nonetheless, because it was a good movie. And besides this next one I show you is probably one of the rarest films in my collection. This is the rarest film in my collection, this next one. This one also has an interesting story, and this is the one I really can't believe I own. Twilight Zone, the movie. From 1983. So this one is a Blu-ray. This movie's out of print no matter what. No other companies ever re-released it or anything like that. This one is incredibly rare. This one has an interesting story behind it though, because I'll show you the disc here. Because I like the way it's designed. It's got the stars on it and all that. This one, I can't believe I own because you can't find it, and even when you order it, it goes for astronomical prices. Like I saw one Blu-ray of this. I saw one copy of this Blu-ray listed for $500 on the internet. That's insane. All that for a movie. But it's a super rare movie. The reason that is because it's not like people actually care. Most people don't care that much about this movie. Not even the people that saw it back in the day, because there's a really shitty tragedy behind it. Basically, what happened was, when they were making the film back in 1982, when they were shooting, they were doing a bit for the first segment in the film called Time Out. This guy goes back in time to different things, the worst things that humanity had ever done to other minorities throughout the years. And he goes to Vietnam, and there was supposed to be a scene in that bit where he saves some Vietnamese kids during a firefight in the middle of the jungle in Vietnam. Well, when they were shooting the scene, they had a helicopter above, and they had pyrotechnics and shit going off to give it the effect. There was explosions and shit going around, and during the take of the scene, the first take of the scene, the helicopter pilot crashed the copter because the pyrotechnics blinded him. He couldn't see, and he killed the actor and the children that were in the bit. So, if you want to know more, Google the Vic Morrow Twilight Zone the movie accident. You'll see what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, pre-warning discretion, because it's kind of a graphic video, especially towards the end of it. If you really want to, the video of the accident is on YouTube for your viewing pleasure right now, but be warned, it's pretty disturbing. Especially if you don't like seeing death. Or especially if, you've never seen a video of someone getting killed before, so... Or if you don't like anything gruesome. Or if you're not seeing anything gruesome. If you're not desensitized to violence, that's the best way to put it. Like I am. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And there you go, guys. There's your look at the 6 movies I can't believe I own. See you around to the next video. Bye.